Jasper National Park is my favorite place in the world. While my wife is more of a homebody than I am, for the most part, she also shares this passion for Jasper. So once a year, we spend our anniversary there. The serene beauty of this park captivates and inspires me each time I see it. And unlike Banff, Jasper isn't overcrowded or crawling with obnoxious tourists.
I really hope it's not as busy.
The shops at the town site have such a wonderful vibe to them. They really speak to me on a spiritual level.
Not bloody likely.
The Jasper Park Lodge was the highlight of our stay in Jasper this year. Everywhere we looked, it was a postcard in waiting. We were both having a blast. But is that all going to change in the next few days? Our time in Jasper came to an end, and we were another day closer to my wife's first ever real off-road trail experience. For now, it was time for a nice leisurely drive down the Icefield Parkway. This is without a doubt one of Canada, if not the world's most spectacular drives. The only downside for me is that it's paved. This is the first time I've seen the Columbia ice fields, and the first time I've ever seen a glacier. The Studfield Glacier was pretty good. That was until we saw the Athabasca Glacier, which is absolutely stunning. It's one of North America's largest glacial bodies. Next, our little journey took us into British Columbia, more specifically to Radium Hot Springs and eventually to Invermere. After just a tiny bit more browsing of the gift shops, we spent a bit of time out at the lake. Little does my wife know that tomorrow, we hit the trails. A fire not too far from Invermere flared up overnight. Southwest of us, the Okanagan was ablaze. And just like Alberta in the spring, now late summer, the wildfire season seems to have hit British Columbia hard. Even though there was a local wildfire just east of us, the bulk of the smoke that was rolling in was from the Kamloops and Kelowna regions. There was no way that just a little bit of smoke was going to stop this trip from happening. Just northeast of Invermere, there is a vast trail system, and after a tip from my pal Steve to go explore, I decided to take my wife on her first real off-road adventure ever. It was a challenge just to get her to agree to tag along with me, but she really didn't want me venturing off into the forest alone. I found a nice little trail called the Horsethief Trail. It looked like it would be an easy run to give my wife a small taste of off-roading. And it certainly would have been had we stuck to the Forest Service Road.
Steve said explore.
Steve's not boss of me. Steve sucks. He's a putz. So there. And let the record show that I have been on a trip with you. You can see that my wife doesn't want to go anywhere.
I would never say such a thing.
Yeah, you would. You tell everybody. Every time you do an interview. Do you have any advice for my wife, or should my wife come on this trip? No, she should not.
We were in for just a tiny bit of exploration. Little did my wife know, that the route I had mapped out didn't exactly stay on the FSR the entire way.
This isn't even a trail, this is a road.
At 21 degrees, this is a pretty standard ascent for most of us. My wife didn't exactly see it that way.
Pretty sure I'm gonna have a panic attack.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I don't think so. It'll be fine.
She was convinced that we would flip over backwards and that the two of us would perish in a fiery wreck, orphaning our amazing daughters. Not quite at the halfway point, she felt her only hope was to pray.
Jesus. Shut up, Corey. Don't do this. Why don't you love me? Why do you want to kill me? Corey, I can't do this. You said it's gonna be a forestry road. This is ridiculous. I'm so mad at you right now.
Contrary to what my wife believed, we actually made it to the top of this tiny hill, alive. For whatever reason, going down the hills was easier on her than going up them. As angry as she was, the silent treatment, well, it didn't last long.
I really don't understand you. Why would you go through this on our second honeymoon?
Well, we went through this on our first honeymoon.
This is worse. If I throw up in your car, I take no responsibility.
Okay.
And I'll feel good about it.
Yeah?
Now, in my wife's defense, she grew up in a very small town in Romania. The topography there is very similar. She spent her youth walking up and down roads, just like this one. So the last thing she wants to do on our second honeymoon is spend more time on trails just like this.
Oops. Missed my turn. Supposed to turn left there. My bad.
I, on the other hand, absolutely love the nice wide open trails, which my battle-scarred doors and fender panels quietly thanked me for.
Onyx is gonna wonder what's wrong with us. Can't you read a map?
This would be a temporary venture on the wide and easy path. We were taking yet another scenic route to Sam's Folley Lake and recreation site.
Are you gonna plan to murder me in the woods and leave me here?
No. Are you planning on murdering me in the woods?
Yeah, then I have to find someone to drive your car. Like, I like nature and stuff from afar. I like beautiful nature.
I see.
This is like more like scary movie nature.
Scary movie?
Look at it. It's just... ugh. All I can see is like some guy in a mask with a knife in his hand running after the car, like in Psycho.
Similar to my last detour, the trail, once again, narrowed. There would be a few more steep ascents and descents for my wife to endure. We were, however, nearing the destination, just 2 kilometers to go. We were on the final descent and have now arrived at our destination for the day. The lake wasn't quite what I was expecting. It was more like two ponds with a small campsite nestled between them. It was impressive nonetheless, to me. My wife, on the other hand, had a slightly different response.
I bet they're full of leeches.
Jump in, find out.
No. Why would I jump in? You jump in.
So what do you think of this? Stop. What do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah.
He drives me through this whole horrible forest, horrible roads, up and down, made me sick. To bring me to this? I thought it would be like some cool ass lake, but no, it's this. Is this a swamp? I'm telling you. It's blue, a blue swamp.
I have to disagree. I don't think I would take a swim in it, but I would be more worried about the frigid temperatures than the prospect of leeches. I can't help but wonder if this is some old fisherman's super secret fishing hole. It certainly isn't a swamp. Oh, and one more thing. It also isn't blue. It's more like an emerald green of sorts. It's time to head back out, the way we came in.
The drive in was actually, not what I expected. I was expecting it to be like a 2-wheel drive course the whole way, but we actually got to use a little bit of 4-wheel on this one, and it was interesting. It was kind of fun. We didn't die, even though half of us here thought we were gonna. But yeah, it's definitely some good times. It was a fun little adventure trail.
I really did think that the Horsethief Creek Forestry Service Road would be the most harmless way to get my wife onto a trail. My plan started out on a dirty road, a simple little trail, and in theory, the plan was sound. Where it fell apart was in the real-world execution of it all. Well, the scenic routes really killed it for my wife. But that's okay. I'm so very proud that she at least tried it out. At least she's talking to me again. As for me, I really like this trail system, and I would love to explore it just a bit more. Unfortunately, there are some rumors that the entire site is going to be turned over to a land lease program with privatized Jeep tours. I truly hope this doesn't happen because it's a very scenic area and it would be a shame for it to be shut down. We have, after all, lost enough trails. We don't need to lose any more. But that's a worry for another day, however. For now, it's time to plan a few more trips to this amazing province of British Columbia. But most likely with my daughter instead of my wife.